Hello, I am Shadow, and I have a package. It went through China Post and the United States Postal Service. It is from Pine64. It is the PineTime, which is a smartwatch. And I think it's Linux based, but I'm not sure. So you can choose whatever operating system, but it's not as powerful as an Apple Watch. It's pretty limited as to what you can run on it. It's only as powerful as an Apple II computer. This is the charging cradle. With the charging cradle included, along with shipping, the total came out to nearly $44. It would be $44 if you round it up. Rounded up to the nearest dollar. It's just a few cents off from $44. And this is the box that the watch comes in. Let's see. Very nice box. Ooh. There's the inside box. And that is the watch embedded in the box. Very nice. Pretty fancy for how cheap it is. And this is a piece of foam. Wait a minute. I didn't need to order the charging cradle. It comes with the charging cradle. Well, whatever. I'm not a fan of the strap that it comes with. It really shows how cheap the watch is. I think right out of the box it needs to be charged. Kind of a bummer that I kind of wasted money on the extra charging cradle, but I guess I could just save it. I'll put it in a safe spot later. Actually, I could put this one in a safe spot and then use this one now, because I already got it out of the bag. Okay, so I guess it shows different operating systems that you can run on it. There's Gadget Bridge, which is based on Android. Gadget Bridge, which is based on Android. Fish, which is based on Linux. Siglo, which is based on Linux. InfiniTime is actively developed by a community of developers and end users, and it is more than likely that a new version of the firmware will be available by the time you receive your device. We highly recommend that you update the firmware to the latest stable version. The installation of a new version of the installation of a new version of the firmware is done by applying an OTA over-the-air update using one of the aforementioned companion applications. So I guess that means those aren't Those aren't operating systems, or they're just connection apps. So that you can get the watch connected to the phone. You can check the version by swiping the display on the right, followed by tapping on the gear icon on the bottom right, then in the list, swiping down and tapping on About. Be sure to update to the latest version of PineTime, upgrade the bootloader, and install the recovery firmware in this specific order. The new bootloader provides more functionality and is more stable, and PineTime 1.0 Plus provides more functionalities than earlier versions. The PineTime displays a digital watch face with a red-colored heart indicator and a blue-colored step indicator. Then you are running PineTime 1.0 or newer. A monochrome watch face indicates an older firmware revision. Please reference our wiki for more information about the firmware update procedure, and then it shows the wiki URL https://wiki.pine64.org/wiki/upgrade_PineTime to PineTime 1.0.0. Newest PineTime firmware can be downloaded from https://github.com/jf002/infinitime/releases. Enjoy your PineTime. PineTime developers and community. Dear PineTimer, congratulations on your new PineTime. Your PineTime is pre-programmed with an open source firmware called InfiniTime. Out of the box without being paired with a smartphone or computer. The firmware provides the following functionality: 2 different watch faces, a stopwatch, step counting, and heart rate monitoring, as well as a handful of games. More functionality becomes available once you pair your smartwatch via Bluetooth to a smartphone or computer. An InfiniTime compatible companion application will allow you to synchronize time, use turn-by-turn navigation, and control music playback on your Android or Linux smartphone. Currently supported companion applications. Oh, okay. So this is the front and this is the back. So yes, those are applications, not operating systems. So I guess that means InfiniTime is the operating system that it runs on. Based on FreeRTOS. Real-time operating system. So it's not Linux, but it's similar to Linux. Amazon Web Services, what? the hell? Linux distros for PineTime. So yeah, it is not Linux based, but it is open source at least. How this Cradle works is these pins line up with these flat connectors right here, and it just clicks together like that with a magnet. And the charger is USB, and it's very short, so I can just have it connected to my computer. And look at that, it turned on as soon as I plugged it in. And that's the watch face. I just held the button down and that showed up. Infinitime version 1.14.1. Build date July 25th, 2024, 16:11 at 21 seconds. Bootloader 1.0.1. The watch is currently not correct. It is currently set to January 1st, 1970. I'm not sure why. So it turns out the reason why it's set to 1970 is because that's Unix epoch time. It took me a while to figure that out. I've been using Linux since 2023. Oh. It goes up to the year 9,999 AD. Okay. 2025 is April. It is the 15th. And the current time is 1300. Gotta process that time at just right time. Just gotta wait for that to charge. It's gonna take a while. While I wait for it to charge, I'm going to talk about a journey that I went on. So it started off in China. It took a while for it to show me the tracking number, but it eventually, but after a little bit, it showed me a link to 17 track, and it showed me that it was in China, and then it was processed through Shenzhen, and then it showed me origin post is preparing shipment. After that it was sent to New York City. Then it went to Queens, New York. And the next update, it showed me it stopped in Columbus, Ohio. After that, it stopped in St. Louis, Missouri. After that, it went to OKC, and after that, it arrived at a UPS facility in the city where I live. And the next day, it arrived here. So it is April 15th. I ordered it on March 31st. So it took me, it took 2 weeks to get here. So I think that's a pretty good time. That's when most people get their PineTime, is 2 weeks after ordering. It says it could vary from as little as 5 days to as much as 45 days. It is now at 35% charge, so that is pretty good charge time, because it was not that long of a wait. It is now 1325. Okay, I think that's a good tightness. I want it to be tight enough that I can get good reading. It is now measuring my heart rate, and it is currently at 65 BPM. 66. 86. And now it's in the 70s. I'm starting to tremble. I have an issue with that. So it's a little spotty, but it's a decent heart rate monitor. That is a very healthy heart rate. I have been off caffeine for a while. I occasionally drink a little bit of caffeine. Like I would drink cola sometimes, or I would drink tea. I mostly drink herbal tea if I want the taste of a caffeinated drink without actually drinking caffeine. But if I get heart palpitations, this would come in handy. I do have tachycardia, which is a big reason why I decided to get this watch. The watch does have a screen protector. It's just the flimsy little plastic peel that most people take off when they first get their electric devices, but I am going to leave that on for a little bit, just because I want to keep my watch in good condition. The default watch theme is designed to look like a digital watch, which is not very exciting. I have seen that there are ways to get custom watch faces, and some of them look pretty advanced for how low the specs are. It has 3 different brightness settings. So if it's night, you set it on the darkest setting. If it's dawn or sunset, then you would set it on the middle setting. And if it's midday when it's really bright, then you would set it on the brightest setting. And apparently there's also a flashlight? Wait, what? Okay. That does nothing, but I guess you can have a flashlight connected. Ooh, okay. PineTime. So you can, it does come with different watch faces. There is a more interesting watch face. but it doesn't show my heart rate. That one shows my steps. There's the analog watch face. So if you can read a face clock, you can use that. But it doesn't show your heart rate or your steps, from what I can see. And then that's the default right at the bottom of the watch faces list. That's a little more modern. That's definitely more modern. That is the digital watch face thing. And there is the terminal style watch face. It shows the time, the date, the battery, your steps, and the heart rate. I really like the default theme, which is the Casio theme, but I kind of wish it was in a more appealing color. I think I should use the digital theme for now, because that's more contemporary. Software licensed under the terms of the GNU General Public License version 3. And then it shows the link to the source code, which is really nice. And the stop counting isn't always accurate on smartwatches, so it does have a shake calibration app. Oh, that is a drawing thing. Oh, Pong. It's a little bit glitchy, but it works. And then there's a tempo. That is a compass. I'm not really sure what that is or how to use that. Okay, that is Minesweeper, I think. Oh, okay, I have no idea what this game is or how to play it. And instead of Spotify, it has this music app right here. I think you could connect this to your phone and have the music playing that way. I'm not sure. Okay, let's charge back up to 39. Okay, it is counting my steps. I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but it seems to be accurate now. Let me see. I'm gonna do 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Good deal. Okay. So I'm not sure what it's doing to count my steps. And I'm not sure how I'm supposed to use the calibration app to get a better reading. I will figure that out later. I'm going to let my watch finish charging. And I'm thinking I might buy the PinePhone Pro whenever I'm ready to switch to a Linux phone. My current phone is a Maxwell Astro 55R, which is a very cheap Android phone. It's very good for the price, but the storage is kind of limiting, and you know how Android is with storage. It tends to fill up without any apparent reason. And also, there are certain Google apps that you can't get rid of. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to change the operating system on my phone. So it seems the only way I can possibly run mobile Linux is to buy a Linux phone. And that's actually kind of good, because I like the fact that Linux phones have physical hardware kill switches for privacy, as opposed to Android's software hardware kill switches, which just block the hardware from working with the operating system. With the physical hardware kill switches, it disables the hardware. It disconnects the hardware from the phone so that the operating system can't access them. And that's why the hardware kill switches are much more trustworthy than the software switches on Android. And also, Android is owned by Google, so even if you have sensors off and location off, there is still a fear that Google might be able to still access those hardware parts. I was thinking it might be worth it to buy the Liberty phone, but that costs $2,000. And the only benefit with the Liberty phone versus the PinePhone Pro is that the Liberty phone has the hardware kill switches on the side of the phone, whereas with the PinePhone Pro, the switches are under the backplate. So you would, it's kind of like with this phone, you can take the backplate off, and with the PinePhone Pro, it would have the hardware kill switches right here, right about here. With the Liberty phone, you're paying $1,400 more than you would with the PinePhone Pro, and your only benefit is a little bit of extra convenience. If you have enough money to blow, it might be worth it to buy a Liberty phone. But otherwise, it would be so much better to buy a PinePhone Pro, because it's the most bang for your buck in terms of Linux phones. There are a few drawbacks with Linux phones. Like, they don't have 5G, and they don't come with a terabyte of internal storage like the latest iPhones do, and they don't have as much RAM as the iPhones do. But those are just those are just fancy features that you would be missing out on. They're not really features that you need. The PinePhone Pro has plenty of good specs to be a functional daily phone. I might update you if I find anything interesting about my watch, or if I figure out a nice personalization. I have my pronouns page linked in the description. That is where you can find all my links. It's like Linktree but better. And thanks for watching, and bye bye.